This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. When you visit the doctor, you probably hand over your insurance, your ID, and contact details. It's just one of the many places that has your personal info. And if any of them accidentally expose it, you could be at risk for identity theft. LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second. If you become a victim, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year at lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
I'm looking for a mom friend that wants to talk about motherhood, parenting, mental health, marriage, friendships, and more. Unfiltered, of course. A mom friend that wants to feel less alone in all of her seasons of life. If this is you, let's be friends. Come on over and listen to Mama Knows wherever you get your podcasts.
Dorian sprints to Celaena's aid, his magic a warning bell of bad things to come. In the dark hallways leading from the clock tower, something lurks, stalking Celaena as she tries to find her way in the dark back to the main library. When the creature attacks, Celaena runs for her life, and Dorian stumbles after her until they are able to trap the creature in a spell, and Celaena can slay it. While Dorian tends to himself, Celaena goes in search of Kaltain, only to find that the prisoner has been taken by Duke Parrington to Morath. When Celaena figures out the first piece of the tomb's riddle, she searches Elena's sarcophagus for the first Wyrdkey, only to discover the King of Otterlin found and claimed it for himself many years ago. When the creature attacks, Celaena runs for her life, and Dorian stumbles along after her until they are able to trap the creature in a spell so Celaena can slay it.
Hey there, we're Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, your book besties who take the novels you love seriously. This is Jack.
And I'm Amy, and we embrace and respect modern fantasy, romance, and romantasy books written by women. And so it's in our nature to analyze these books as we would any other novel we might have dissected in school.
With our combined 13 years of literary academic training, we use our education to analyze and give voice to reasons why you may love or hate today's popular books.
This week, we're discussing chapters 44 through 48 of Sarah J. Maas's second Throne of Glass novel, Crown of Midnight. For a complete list of episodes and the chapter breakdowns, be sure to check out our Instagram at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk.
Before we dive in, let's talk about Spilt, spoilers, perspective, interpretation, language, and themes.
Spoilers. While our discussion is about Crown of Midnight, important context from the first three novels in the series will be discussed without spoiler warnings. That is specifically Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire. This is not a read-along for anyone who hasn't read at least these three books, and you will be spoiled from here on out. So please take this as your only spoiler warning. For all other spoilers beyond Heir of Fire and other SJM works, we will keep those to the breadcrumbs and broomsticks area at the end of the episode.
Perspective and interpretation. What we discuss in this episode are strictly our personal interpretation of the text. We do not speak for Sarah J. Maas and in no way know her intentions for her books or her characters. We also know our listeners have their own personal views and opinions, and we encourage you to share your thoughts with us because every perspective and interpretation is worth exploring.
Language. I genuinely did not write any curse words this time around. I don't know if Jack did. I don't think she did. But
either way,
sometimes we improvise. They may pop up.
Explicit language, man. It's going to happen. Themes. We also discuss some heavy subjects throughout the podcast that can include themes of sex, violence, abuse, depression, self-harm, and death. While we will do our best to give trigger warnings for the darker themes, we will discuss these topics when they are important to the text. Listener discretion is advised.
As always, we love keeping the conversation going because our listeners are so good at finding things we've overlooked or missed completely. You can share your interpretation of the text with us by posting on social media, tagging us in stories, sending us DMs, or submitting to the forum on our website. We also post more exclusive content and host live streams for our Patreon supporters. You can find us at patreon.com/booktalkforbooktalk. This week, we ask ourselves, why does SJM continue to tie Celaena and Dorian together through their actions and the symbolism surrounding them if they are never quite aligned?
Themes we see in this section include truths revealed and predator and prey. Chapter 44 starts with Dorian following Celaena into the catacombs, and because that's a good idea, and he knows that she means business. How does he know that? Well, because of this quote. Perhaps he would have let her go about her business were it not for her braided hair. Celaena never tied her hair unless she was fighting, and when she was about to get messy. I like that the idea that styling her hair is a huge part of her identity of what's going on, and I also love that it's not the sword strapped to her back. I mean, I mean that a little bit in tongue-in-cheek. However, I do think that it is more telling that it's the hair that's the warning sign versus the sword.
What I do like about that is the fact that braiding hair is a very, what we assume, feminine thing in a lot of Western culture. And so instead of seeing her hair and thinking, oh, she's going on a date, he's thinking, oh, shit, she's about to go get messy.
Yeah.
I've already sworn.
That was you. You did it first. You failed first. Or did I already? No, that was you.
I think it was me.
Yeah.
Now, Dorian's...
Sorry, there was just something about you saying, like, when her hair is tied back, things are about to get messy.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Blowjobs.
I understand.
All right.
I was, I mean, in my case, I was thinking women eating
That's
out
fair.
other women.
You are engaged to a woman, and I am but a hetero.
Straight.
Yeah. So unfortunate.
Dorian's magic is screaming at him that where Celaena's going, he should not go. It is not a good idea. He should get the hell out of there. Quote, he had to tell her to get out. Whatever this place was, neither of them should be here. Even if the power in his blood wasn't screaming it, he would have known. He had to get her out. Dorian descended the staircase. The imagery of Dorian's descent feels very tied to Celaena. It's almost a descent to destiny. They're both taking steps towards something that is going to put them on a very specific path. Also, it's, to me, an indication of how much lesser selfish Dorian has become. Grammar is not working in my brain today. Dorian wants to look out for Celaena. It is, in my mind, not a lot different from Celaena wanting to look out for Dorian when she went to Baba Yellowlegs, and Baba Yellowlegs wanted to sell Dorian secrets.
Yep, that's fair. It is an interesting parallel where you have both of them descending into what is the truth and horror. Both of them, I don't want to spoil anything too much in the future, but there are things within this cave that indicate both of their future in many ways. In the cave, the tunnels, you know what I mean. There's a lot of mirroring in this book episode with the two of them. Celaena knows she's hiding from something she can't see while she's down there. Quote, and if she wasn't alone down here, then her torch was a beacon, and she was in no mood to be a target. She put out the torch with a grind of her heel. Complete darkness. She lifted Damaris higher, adjusting to the dark. Only it wasn't wholly black. A faint glow illuminated from her amulet, a glow that allowed her to see only dim shapes, as if the darkness were too strong for the eye. We learn pretty quickly that the monster is, stays away from light, like it's scared of light. But it also, at first, before you get to that line, I thought it was funny of Elena being like, no, you will be a target. I'm still going to make you visible and glow.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to see Celaena. Also, with this quote, what I really like is that we're seeing Celaena have the will to live. She does not want to be a target. She does not want some monster getting her in the middle of this darkness. So we've seen a lot of growth and progress from her in these several chapters where she was super depressed.
From a writing perspective, I think SJM does a good job making this whole sequence kind of eerie. Like in the quote Jack just read, the darkness is too strong for the light of the eye. There's this personification of the darkness. Here's some other quotes. Quote, the darkness seemed to expand, reaching for her. She wasn't alone. And another one, There was a scrape of nail against stone, and then the sound of breathing. It was not her own. Oh, well, that one isn't actually an image. It's an actual sound. But what these things have in common is the presence of hands in the dark. And it feels very much like they're ready to grab you. You can't see them coming. I mean, that has got to be my worst nightmare, is being grabbed in the dark.
Oh, really?
That's terrifying. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who it is.
Do you know what my biggest fear is? Like, if I have to go up and go pee in the middle of the night, and it's because I lived in Arizona for a little bit, and I've heard, do you know what it's going to be?
A scorpion in the toilet?
Yeah, or a snake.
Yeah, that too.
Because there's been a fair amount of stories of people who had snakes in their toilet or in their sinks.
Yep.
When they went to go wash their hands, a spider, tarantula in the toilet. Like,
yeah.
That's my thing. I'm fine, but I'm scared of sitting down.
It's usually for the people who live in the like outskirts.
I do live in the outskirts of Studio City. The monster at this point is stalking Celaena just as much as, well, no, she's not stalking it. She's just trying to get the hell out. But what I love about it is that we're getting the monster's point of view, and it displaces some of its anger onto Celaena. Quote, but she had come here. She had learned the marks, which meant she had to know what had been done to it. She had to have been part of it, in breaking and shattering, and then the brutal rebuilding. And since she had come here, I feel like I could make a case saying that this is almost how Celaena views Chaol. Like, there's a displacement of anger that's happening. The monster is like, hey, she's here. I will be angry at her. And it's a lot of that is the same way that she's angry with Chaol, where it's like, there's a lot of reasons to be angry at a lot of people, but he is one of the easiest targets for that. So I like it. What I also love about this going back and forth between the monster's point of view and Celaena's point of view is the fact we are going from predator to hunter. And this is very similar and such a switch from when Celaena was hunting Grave. SJM is very good at doing mirroring moments and seeing parallels. And I think that this was a very clear moment of that.
I think that's a great point. And the constant back and forth also is very good at building upon the suspense of the moment. What it also tells me, and what we're going to discover later, is that because we're getting the creature's point of view, the creature is in fact human, right? I don't know SJM to give non-human things points of view. Non-humanoid, I should say, because Fae are not human. Whatever. Yeah. You get what I mean.
Yeah.
When the creature and Celaena face off, Celaena struggles to reconcile that humanity in the monster's appearance and its expressions, despite its unnatural power. It's that combination of, wow, it has anger, I can see it in its expression, and this combination with the supernatural power that make this creature maybe more terrifying for Celaena than anything she's encountered thus far, because on some level, even though she doesn't understand why it's angry, she recognizes the anger and can empathize with that anger. Because it's a lot of ways a mirror of herself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dorian describes the creature later, quote, it looked like something that used to be a man, but was twisted and dried and broken, with hunger and madness written on every protruding bone in its body.
Gross.
I just wanted everyone to enjoy that grossness.
So we can all be gross and disgusted.
Yeah.
Celaena starts running from the monster at this point. And I love that she's running. And then at this point, Dorian is like, Celaena, is someone here? Should I be concerned? And she sees Dorian and she grabs and essentially hauls his ass along. Quote, to his eternal humiliation, as they hit the bottom of the stairs, she grasped him by the collar of his tunic, half hauling him up the steps. She hurled him into the hallway beyond the threshold. I love this so freaking much, just because it's like, one, visually very funny, right? Like, she's grabbing him being like, get your scrawny ass up here, go away. It's also a reversal of gender roles. Like, a lot of times, you have the damsel in distress, but Dorian in this entire series is the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
He really is.
He really is.
I know. He's the princess in the tower. Little damsel. I love him. But there is also a continuous theme here. And that theme is that Dorian is never able to do enough to save himself. And the fact that he has to rely on others. Even though he has magic, even though he plays a part, he still has to rely on others throughout this entire book.
Absolutely. He hasn't really done anything for himself yet to be deserving of his magic, to be able to help other people. Quick side note, the quote you just read, Track, she half hauls him up the stairs and hurls him into a hallway. I didn't catch it until you read it, but I'm like, that's a little bit of a Faye breadcrumb.
Yeah.
That she's
it's strong enough.
Right. It's just like when she was racing to go to Nehemia before Nehemia was killed, that she outran Kale's horse. Same thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. That is an absolute like Faye moment of her powers coming in, being like, get him over here now.
So just like how Dorian was intent on warning Celaena of the danger, Celaena is intent on saving Dorian. Quote, even if this thing was intelligent enough to know the word marks, they had to buy some time for themselves. She had to give Dorian enough time to get away. Now, Dorian, from his point of view, recognizes that Celaena's had months of training, and those months of training have made her stronger in a way he has not. And that's his humiliation, right? That humiliation matters. I genuinely believe that this instance is going to influence the fact that he does start training in Heir of Fire.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And there's going to be a couple more moments that is going to help incite that.
Mm-hmm. So it's at this point, they're trying to keep the creature behind a door, and Celaena realizes her assumption Celaena realizes her assumption about Dorian is in fact true. He has magic, and unbeknownst to him, he's trying to use that magic to seal the door shut. Okay, now your turn.
No, it's fine. My brain just started singing, I've got the magic in me. Celaena and Dorian are working to contain the beast. Quote, once the spell is cast, just passing over that threshold will hold it in place long enough to kill it. What's that word I see? It's threshold. Thresholds always mean something. So what does the threshold mean here? It means that things are changing. We normally see that. I mean, in case this is someone's first episode, I have no idea why you would start here, but I'll do this for you. Thresholds usually mean that a big change is about to happen. Mm-hmm. We even talk about this in ACOTAR in the first book. There's a moment with Tamlin and Farah in the infirmary, and he pauses at the threshold, and it's very significant. It's used very often. And this is another moment where a threshold means something. I feel like the threshold in this instance means Celaena and Dorian are about to open up to one another about their magic, or at least his magic, and what she's doing, or at least partially what she's doing.
I think that's a great point. And there's actually something very intimate about this moment, even though they're trying to save their own lives and prevent the creature from getting out to kill everybody else in the castle. We know where this is ultimately going to lead. Quote, a line stretched taut between them, a moment of trust and a promise of answers from both of them. It's at this point Celaena starts drawing the word marks over the threshold. And, quote, he shifted so she could reach to draw above his head, their breath mingling. It's a very intimate moment. Yeah. No, they're not about to kiss. But to me, it's symbolic of where their relationship is now going to go. And the direction it's going to go is that sharing of secrets, that sharing of knowledge. And for lack of a better word, they're not kin, but kinship. They're really going to look out for each other moving forward.
It definitely shifts to be very familial between the two of them.
Yep.
Once again, Celaena takes the lead when it comes to Dorian and being the one who takes on the protector role. Quote, let go and get the hell behind me. That's what Celaena tells Dorian. At least she didn't insult him by telling him to flee. Again, Dorian is very aware of his lack of quote-unquote manliness, his quote-unquote lack of masculinity. Again, these are all very hetero, toxic views to the world, but 'tis what we live in, and in their world too, apparently. But this is really going to impact Dorian when it comes to his future choices. And you hinted at it when it comes to Heir of Fire. And in general, I think some of his training, some of his strengths, and some of his weaknesses are really going to become visible, and you can trace them back to inciting moments like this.
Now, when Celaena kills the creature, Dorian struggles to not be sick. Quote, Celaena made 4 strikes, 3 to sever the emaciated torso in 2, and a 4th to stab through where its heart would be. His bile rose up again as she angled her blade a 5th time. That sickness conveys weakness, and it's just an emphasis on his lack of manliness.
Yeah. Yeah. Celaena and Dorian get away. She kills that monster very thoroughly. Like, there is no coming back. And once they are in Dorian's room, he changes while Celaena tells him what's going on. Quote, talking seemed like a good idea while he stripped naked in his dressing room. Now, initially, you might read that as like her being aware of being like, I'm going to look away while he's naked. Like, there might be like some kind of tension to it. But honestly, what I think it's kind of hinting at more is the fact that she's being honest and revealing her truth while Dorian is stripping naked, which is a different type of truth and vulnerability. So in this moment, they're both being vulnerable.
I completely agree. We're going to see some quid pro quo here in this scene. But before we move on to that, I think it's important to point out how they got back to Dorian's room because of its symbolism.
I just had a thought. Can I say my thought?
Sure.
Sorry. It's also poignant because Dorian tells Celaena all of his truth. Like, he is completely naked and she is not. And she only tells him half-truths.
Yep. That's exactly right. I thought that was the point you were going to make, so I'm glad you made it.
Like, what? One of us got there.
So, the symbolism of how they got back to the room, I think, is important. Quote, they'd taken the dark servants' passages back to his tower. Now, they're about to be honest with one another, or as Jack pointed out, Dorian's going to be more honest than Celaena is. In telling each other these secrets, they're also admitting something very illicit, something that symbolically has them debasing themselves to the level of servants, traveling through dark passages like rats or vermin, which honestly is probably how they view themselves in this oppressive environment, right? He's about to admit he has magic, which is punishable by death. And Celaena is going to admit that she's been fucking around, probably also punishable by death.
I mean, at this point, everything is punishable by death.
That's right.
In the meantime, while Dorian is getting dressed, and like Amy said, that they're already gross after some good old-fashioned murder, but then having to sneak around going through the servants' quarters, Celaena is very gross and dirty. Quote, he'd offer her his private bath, but she'd refuse. That felt too intimate, too. I love whenever baths are referenced because we talk about it being very baptismal, very cleansing of sins, and we have not had her have a good bath in this book. There has not been a single moment where we've said, yes, she has cleansed her sins. We've talked about dirty waters representing that she isn't fully cleansed. And if you're just sitting here being like, Jack, you're looking too much into it. Well, riddle me this then. Why is it that there's a particularly famous moment in Heir of Fire where she takes a bath? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Even Aelin would pause to catch her breath. We'll be right back.
I got my mom on TaskRabbit, and now that she knows that people can come and clean her house, she is obsessed with this.
I got my mom TaskRabbit because the last thing I want to do is go to Arizona in the middle of the summer just to do her electrical work.
You would do that.
TaskRabbit is the secret weapon for every child whose parents need someone to do something for them.
Amen to that.
I have my own life.
I have my own tasks that I need my TaskRabbit to do. I can't help you with your TaskRabbit.
TaskRabbit connects you with skilled taskers to help with moving, mounting, furniture assembly, home repairs, electrical work, and more. Many taskers are available to help the very same day. Why wait for you or me or your child to do it when a tasker can do it instead?
Taskers have assembled over 3.4 million pieces of furniture, done 700,000 home repairs, completed 1.5 million moves, and more.
To get started, go to TaskRabbit.com or download the app. Search for the best tasker for your job based on cost, skill set, availability, and past client reviews.
Plus, with TaskRabbit's happiness pledge, if you're not satisfied, they'll work to make it right.
Our moms have been happy. Yours could be too.
Tackle your to-do list today and get $15 off your first task at TaskRabbit.com or on the TaskRabbit app using promo code BookTalk.
That's promo code BookTalk, BookTalk, at TaskRabbit.com for $15 off your task. TaskRabbit, book trusted help for home tasks. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
I'll give you one guess into what's my Stanley right now.
Probably something with electrolytes, like Liquid IV.
It's not even funny how true that is. Liquid IV is scientifically formulated to help replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from sweat or exercise, which is perfect because I am both sweating and exercising this summer.
It has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients, all in a single stick. And guess what? They've got Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration right now. It is so nostalgic. Makes me think of summer instantly.
The fact that it has 100% daily value of 4 essential B vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, it's an excellent source of vitamin C, and it makes me just feel like I've really accomplished a lot just by drinking one of these.
Powered by Liquid IV Hydroscience, Liquid IV replaces necessary nutrients lost from everyday dehydration, and it doesn't matter if you live somewhere dry or humid, trust me, you're dehydrated.
Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone.
It is always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. And if you're like me and are sensitive to everything, it is fantastic.
Savor the last bits of summer with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code BookTalk at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order and code BookTalk, BookTalk, at liquidiv.com. Growing up, my parents were obsessive about the chore charts and the stickers that we got to use to track our chores and what each completed chore was worth in money.
And now with Acorns Early, you can apply that to today's kids with modern technology. It's genius. Acorns Early is a smart debit card and money app that grows kids' money skills as they grow up.
Start with the in-app chores tracker and teach your kids the value of $1.
Then let your kids set up their own savings goals, start building healthy money habits early.
Make them work for that PS5.
Absolutely.
Kids can spend what they've earned with their own customizable debit card, giving them the extra sense of independence.
Plus, with Acorns Early, spending limits, and real-time spending notifications, parents always stay in control.
This is definitely something I would use if I had kids because I love nothing more than teaching hard work for reward.
This is what's going to happen when I have kids. You're going to be teaching my kids with Acorns Early.
That's exactly right.
Ready to teach your kids the smart way to earn, save, and spend? Get your first month on us when you head to acornsearly.com/booktalk or download the Acorns Early app.
That's 1 month free when you sign up at acornsearly.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
Acorns Early Card is issued by Community Federal Savings Bank, member FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International. Free trial for new subscribers only. Subscription fee starting from $5 per month unless canceled. Terms apply at acorns.com/early terms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I? Yes. Okay.
When people see her, when someone sees her scars. Yeah. So basically, this is her showing that there's a lot more work for her to do. There's a lot more sins. Nothing's clean about her.
Absolutely. And I think back to your earlier point, it's also showing how she is not going to be completely vulnerable with Dorian. She's not going to completely bear herself to him the way he's going to bear himself to her.
Mm-hmm.
There's also this moment. Quote, Dorian appeared in a new tunic and pants, still barefoot. The sight of his feet felt strangely intimate. SGM and her feet.
I hate it. It's so gross. I can't remember what actor, but there was like some photos of this actor and actor girlfriend or whatever, and she was clipping his toenails in public at a picnic, like some park. 1, public, should never be done. 2, I don't know if I could love someone enough to do that.
You have a particular thing about feet.
I don't like it. I hate clipping my own toenails.
I love clipping my toenails.
I hate it.
Now, although Dorian resists telling Celaena about his magic, it is quid pro quo. Celaena has told Dorian some of what she knows about word marks and the creature. It's not all of it, but Dorian doesn't know that. And so she demands the truth about Dorian's magic because that is more important for the state of Aurelia. Quote, you just saw me break at least a dozen of your father's laws. You think I'm going to turn you over to him when you could just as easily destroy me? Now, Celaena's not Cale. She would never swear on her honor or her word that she won't tell anyone because she is not, quote unquote, honorable. And I think what we're seeing here is there's kind of this power dynamic going on, but also companionship in how they're being tied together through the quote unquote illegal nature of what they're doing. That it's secretive, it could get them in trouble, and it's going to tie them like a blood bond almost.
It also shows like they're not friends. I would never even question. Like if you found me doing something, it would never be I promise I won't tell the police. I'd be like, bitch, the fuck you will tell the police? No, of course not. You know what I mean? It shows how separate they've been.
Yeah.
And that they haven't, well, they're still building that bond, but they haven't gone full friendship like that. Right. In the fact that there's even slight doubt there.
Well, and Dorian hasn't told anybody about his magic.
Yeah. And it confirms we don't think Dorian and Cale are very much friends either.
Exactly. And I think that's why Dorian and Cale's friendship is going to tear apart, because Dorian ends up being more like Celaena than he is like Cale. Mm-hmm. Not only in his possession of the magic and keeping it secret, because that's illicit, but also because ultimately what we're going to figure out soon is that Celaena has magic herself. And so they are tied together in a way that Cale, the mundane, is not. It's also, I think, why Dorian's going to be so upset with Cale when he sends Celaena off to Wendlin. Celaena is the first person he told about his magic, and maybe the only person he feels safe with that truth.
Yeah.
Now, going back to a conversation we had an episode or two ago when Celaena killed Grave, I want to read a quote that I think is insightful, but also brings up some new questions for me. Quote, no matter what had happened between her and Cale, no matter what she now felt for him, if she had killed him that night, there would have been no coming back from it, no recovering. In some ways, it might have made her into just another version of that thing in the library. It made her sick to even think about it. Celaena knows she's capable of ugly, immoral things, but she also recognizes her point of no return, and it wasn't torturing Grave.
Yeah.
It's killing someone who she views as fundamentally good. Someone like Cale. Even though she's pissed at him, even though she blames him for Nehemia's death, killing Cale would have been her turning point. Which I think is
fair.
Fair. A self-awareness that I think is important for us as the reader to make sure, okay, Celaena's still okay, despite all the killing that's going on.
I did find no matter what happened between her and Cale, no matter what she felt for him, she now felt for him. I initially read that, and I feel like I can still live in my Delulu land, that there is a moment here where the crazy kids just might make it. You know what I mean? Like there's a world, because what I took that, what she felt what she now felt for him is different than what she felt for him 5 days ago when she hated him.
Yeah.
It's not that killing, he betrayed me, he killed Nehemia type energy. So
Yeah.
I really think this is one of those, if these two crazy kids had just, given it a beat, they would have found their way back to each other. But the true wedge between them will be her true identity. The fact that she's Fae.
Yep, exactly. We get a nice little signal of camaraderie between Celaena and Dorian in this quote. The prince went to his bed and hoisted up the mattress, pulling out a concealed book. Not the best hiding place, but a valiant effort. Now, this made me instantly think back to the beginning of the book in chapter 2 when she views Dorian and kind of judges him, thinks he's pathetic for getting queasy, seeing the severed head at the beginning of the book. Now she's more like, okay, he's just a normal guy, so I'll cut him some slack. That's how I read this quote.
Yep.
And I think part of it is also she's learning to not judge those that she cares for, especially when she comes to understand that they are not judging her. And Dorian, for one, has shown he is not judging her. Take a sip.
One day we're going to release merch that says, take a sip. I don't know when, but because it's so not a priority. Later on. You know what? If you guys come up with a cool design, no, but then we'd have to do a whole paying thing, and that's hard. Not that we wouldn't.
Yeah.
We're just very lazy to calculate it, and we don't make money off of our merch. Not much.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So chapter 45 starts, and we only have a few little bit of notes, but what does Celaena immediately do after seeing Dorian? Because she's like, I promise it'll be good. I promise, let's just call it a night. And so we get this quote. Celaena didn't get a meal or take a bath or see a healer for her shoulder. Instead, she hurried to the dungeon. There's only one thing on her mind right now, and that is to see Celaena. And this is another moment where Celaena does not go take a bath in order to see Celaena. She goes to see Celaena while she is still dirty, while she's still covered in her sins. One of her sins is the fact that she dismissed Celaena so much initially.
And she's starting to realize Celaena was kind of a clue all along.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have judged her so harshly. But unfortunately, it's too late. Because we learned that Celaena's been taken away to become Parrington's bride, which is a fancy way of saying an abuse victim who is going to be continuously assaulted. How about the fact that we've never really given that enough thought or credit?
Yeah.
To not credit, but empathy for Celaena.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of shitting on Celaena all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you think Parrington's going to let her leave her alone? No.
Now, as I was alluding to, Celaena figures out through her conversation with Dorian about ancestry that those of the strongest magical lineage before magic was banished are being used by the king. It's those who wear the black rings who are harvested, essentially, because they have the magical lineage. Celaena being one of them, Cain another, Roland even also being one. Now, what are they being harvested into? Well, Celaena assumes creatures like the one she just killed. Because remember, she cut the creature open and discovered it had a human heart. Quote, for those last few seconds, it had been frozen in place. She had seen something human in its warped eyes. Something that looked so relieved, so grateful for the death she gave him. And that's ultimately the purest evil out of all of this. It's that the king's magic has control over people's lives, including the physical and mental capacities of their bodies, such that they are no longer human. And I feel like that is the most terrifying thing that magic could do, is take control of other people and their lives.
Celaena, at this point, does a little detective work. She goes back to... Did she go to get some sleep at this point? I can't remember.
Yeah, she's trying to go back.
She does get some sleep. And then she goes to Mort.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think she goes back to the library. She finds some black blood that smells like oil. She wants to wipe it off. She pulls some papers out of her pocket and she sees one of the papers that she wrote on that says, Time's Rift, which is from the tomb.
Yes.
And that's when she deduces.
But yeah, that's the next night.
Sure.
Because I was making a very compelling argument that she was filthy throughout the rest of the book. And that was wrong. And I had to delete those notes. So she gets a lovely night of rest and changes clothing because I had to confirm and get rid of my solid point that was not real. And she does what Amy just described. And she's like, wait a minute. Time's Rift. It's a clue. Let's go find the Wyrdkey. Mm-hmm. And that leads us to chapter 46. We're in chapter 46, and we discovered that the Wyrdkey was hidden inside Elena's tomb crown the whole time. Quote, she lifted shaking fingers to the blue jewel in the center of the crown. We know that Elena's statue was not decorated the way that Gavin's was, and the fact that it doesn't show her armor or her sword, which is almost a clue within itself because it's going to be in the crown. But most importantly, we see that her own crown is her weapon in the sense that it held a Wyrdkey, and it is the most powerful weapon of them all.
Absolutely. And when Celaena walks into the scene, she notices that the moonlight is kind of like piercing the crown. It's highlighting the crown and the jewel within the crown. And as Jack likes to remind us, moonlight equals truth equals Elena guiding Celaena on her journey.
We know that this book takes place over the course of a month. No,
I don't think there's been one new moon.
None. That's exactly where I was going for. Every single night has had moonlight. There hasn't been any new moon. All right. There has been no new moon rituals. Just want to point that out, guys.
So here's my issue with this current moment. The anagram is unnecessary.
Yeah.
The first stanza in the tomb's riddle is so obvious.
Can you remind us of what that stanza was?
Yes.
Because some of us did not think it was obvious.
I apologize. And you know what?
Other people in this podcast didn't know the riddle the first time they read it.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Just like when I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I didn't know the answer to Amarantha's riddle.
I knew instantly. But can you remind me, though, of like what the...
Yeah.
Can you find it? Because now I'm like, shit, was it in the poem?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
In grief, he hid one in the crown of her he loved so well, to keep with her where she lay down inside the starry cell.
Yes. Okay, that part, I thought you meant the riddle of it being times Rith is an anagram. I was like,
oh, no.
Does it say, and so the word shall be...
No, but the anagram is just so unnecessary.
I am here with you, and I agree with it. I, too, remembered thinking that. Now, I was like, the anagram was not a clue. But, to your point, does not need to be here. And I actually think that it being an anagram is kind of dumb.
I agree. So just a writing note that if the clue that helps Celaena figure out the riddle was unnecessary to figure out the riddle, maybe don't have the anagram.
Yeah, because what does the times rift turn into? Like,
I am the first. As in the first Wyrdkey.
That's even more complicated.
Yeah.
That riddle, that should have been the first riddle. And then the whole bitch I'm in the crown riddle should have been the second one. Because that one is far more complicated. The initial riddle is very much look in the crown, you're a fool. I forgot that that's what the... Unfortunately, the only anagram that truly has, like, that shook me...
Tom Riddle?
is from the author that we all hate. We do not love. We do not stand with her. Can't stand her. Bitch who shall not be named. But fuck me, that was a great anagram.
Thomas, is it Thomas? Or
Tom
no, it's Tom
Marvolo Riddle. I am Lord Voldemort. That was a good
I just got
one.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
It was so good.
That's an anagram.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, J.K. Rowling is the worst human being on the earth, and SJM couldn't come up with a better anagram for me to be inspired. Until then, any authors out there, do a better one so I can cite that.
Well, and if you're going to have an anagram, make sure it's necessary.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Same with Mort. Make sure he's necessary too.
Also that.
Because we're not getting he's not being useful at all. Mort talks about when the king used to go looking for around in the tombs. So yeah, we're getting a little bit of lore from him. Sure. But he's talking about the evil king. And that's not like the OG king. So, quote, always poking about in forgotten places where he wasn't wanted, reading books no one his age or any age should read, though. Moore added, that does sound awfully like someone I know. Similarities between Celaena and the king are very prevalent in this book. There's the moment where they look at each other and smile, and Dorian says that was the first time he felt nauseous. And in many ways, you can view this as a path that Celaena really could have gone down if she wanted to decide to be evil. You know, she could have just been like, I'm evil. That's how choice made. I do feel like it is another dumb moment where Mort didn't realize that the king took the Wyrdkey.
Yeah, how can he know everything that Celaena does? Well, no, he does know that the king took it. He doesn't know that it was the Wyrdkey that he took. Does that make sense? He didn't know it was the Wyrdkey in the crown.
But he takes something from the tomb.
Yes. And
then magic disappears. I feel like Mort could have put two and two together a little bit more. And Elena could have... There's just a lot of all-knowing that's not helping.
Yeah. Right. And why be all-knowing if not helpful?
Yeah. Why so sexy if so dumb? But it is... I do struggle when it comes to these all-knowing entities that play a part. I think that a book like Quicksilver... and I won't spoil it, but there's a reveal at the end that I appreciated. And when you have a key player like Elena, who is so messing around and dabbling with these things, how does Elena not know that the king... No, Elena does know that the king took the Wyrdkey. That's what Nehemia is trying to figure out. Wait, let's unpack this. Okay. Then why does Archer leave the clue for Celaena, the riddle? Because he was trying to get Celaena to solve the riddle, which then would mean that Nehemia is trying to get Celaena to solve the riddle.
Right. And they're trying to get her to solve the riddle so she can figure out where the Wyrdkey is. They know the king has at least one Wyrdkey. They want her to find the Wyrdkey.
But it's implied, Archer kind of implies like they didn't know what the riddle meant. I felt like in that scene, he kind of makes it sound like, I knew you'd be the one to figure it out, if I remember correctly. He says something along those lines.
I'm pulling it up.
Yes, please. Because we're trying to make this ending make sense.
Okay. So it took Archer 5 years to find the riddle he left in Davis's office, which is about the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, and you must have solved it. I knew you'd be the one to solve it. Nehemia knew too.
See, that implies that she is the one to solve it, implying that the others couldn't, right?
Right. And he does mention, Celaena says the king has at least one key, but where the other two are, I don't know. Archer says, we suspected as much. That was why Nehemia came here in the first place.
Okay, so none of it's confirmed. It's what they suspect. Why does Elena not confirm that for Nehemia then? Right?
Yep. No, 100%.
It's if Elena is trying to get Nehemia to go and like kill herself and to go be a part of this and to try to get Celaena to be part of this whole thing, why doesn't this all-knowing meddler
say, by the way, he took my Wyrdkey.
Amy's pointing to her forehead right now. He took my Wyrdkey here. Yeah, I think that's a really helpful thing to have said.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to have Elena be the one to do it, then maybe the all-knowing door knocker as another option. So,
yeah,
I don't think this ending is very clean.
I have notes.
Thank you for listening to part 1 of this week's episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. Stick around for part 2, which airs on Thursday.
We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform. We would also love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. You can submit your comments to our forum at booktalkforbooktalk.com for a chance to have your feedback discussed during a future mini episode or a Patreon exclusive episode.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk.
Bye. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
I'll give you one guess into what's my Stanley right now.
Probably something with electrolytes, like Liquid IV.
It's not even funny how true that is. Liquid IV is scientifically formulated to help replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from sweat or exercise, which is perfect because I am both sweating and exercising this summer.
It has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients, all in a single stick. And guess what? They've got Orange Vanilla Dream Hydration right now. It is so nostalgic. Makes me think of summer instantly.
The fact that it has 100% daily value of 4 essential B vitamins, B3, B5, B6, B12, it's an excellent source of vitamin C, and it makes me just feel like I've really accomplished a lot just by drinking one of these.
Powered by Liquid IV Hydroscience, Liquid IV replaces necessary nutrients lost from everyday dehydration, and it doesn't matter if you live somewhere dry or humid, trust me, you're dehydrated.
Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone.
It is always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. And if you're like me and are sensitive to everything, it is fantastic.
Savor the last bits of summer with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code BOOKTALK at checkout.
That's 20% off your first order and code BOOKTALK, BOOKTALK, at liquidiv.com. Growing up, my parents were obsessive about the chore charts and the stickers that we got to use to track our chores and what each completed chore was worth in money.
And now with Acorns Early, you can apply that to today's kids with modern technology. It's genius. Acorns Early is a smart debit card and money app that grows kids' money skills as they grow up.
Start with the in-app chores tracker and teach your kids the value of $1.
Then let your kids set up their own savings goals, start building healthy money habits early.
Make them work for that PS5.
Absolutely.
Kids can spend what they've earned with their own customizable debit card, giving them the extra sense of independence.
Plus, with Acorns Early, spending limits and real-time spending notifications, parents always stay in control.
This is definitely something I would use if I had kids because I love nothing more than teaching hard work for reward.
This is what's going to happen when I have kids. You're going to be teaching my kids with Acorns Early.
That's exactly right.
Ready to teach your kids the smart way to earn, save, and spend? Get your first month on us when you head to acornsearly.com/booktalk or download the Acorns Early app.
That's 1 month free when you sign up at acornsearly.com/booktalk. BOOKTALK.
Acorns Early Card is issued by Community Federal Savings Bank, member FDIC, pursuant to license by MasterCard International. Free trial for new subscribers only. Subscription fee starting from $5 per month unless canceled. Terms apply at acorns.com/early terms.